For this last example in section 5.5, we want to rationalize this denominator. So we're going to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So I'm going to multiply in by the square root of 2x plus 2 times the square root of 10y. Whenever we do the bottom of the fraction, we're going to do exactly the same thing to the top. So we're just going to copy exactly what we wrote to the top of the fraction. Now, in both cases, we are multiplying two terms times two terms, so this is FOIL. I'm going to go ahead and just draw my fraction, and I'm going to start at the top. So we're going to take the first term from both, and we're going to multiply them together. So we're going to get 3, that's on the outside, and we have 5x and 2x on the inside, so they're going to multiply together, and we're going to stay on the inside. So now we need outer times outer. So we're going to multiply these two together. We have 3 and 2 on the outside, so that's a positive 6. We have 5x and 10y on the inside, so that's going to give us 50xy on the inside. All right, now we're going to do inner times inner. So that's a negative times a positive, which gives us a negative. Everything is on the inside, so we're going to multiply 2 times 8 and x times y and put it on the inside. And then last times last. So we're going to multiply the last term in both. That's a negative times a positive, which gives us a negative. The only value that's on the outside for both of them is a 2, so we're going to write down the 2, and we're going to multiply inside times inside, so 8 times 10 gives us 80, and then y times y gives us y squared. So there is what we get across the top. Now we're going to move to the bottom. So we're going to FOIL first times the first. Everything is on the inside, so we're going to do 2 times 2, and the answer is going to go on the inside. X times x, and the answer is going to go on the inside. Now we're going to do outer times outer. So that's a positive times a positive, so we get a positive. The only thing that's outside of the radicals is 2. And then we need to multiply by square root of 2x, square root of 10y, so that's 2 times 10, which is 20, and then x times y, so that's xy. All right, now we're going to do inner value times inner value. So negative 2 is the only thing on the outside here for these radicals, so we're going to put our negative 2 here. And then we're going to multiply underneath the inside values of 2 and 10, that gives us 20, and then x times y, which gives us xy. The last times the last, this is a negative 2 times a positive 2, so that's a negative 4. Those two values are on the outside, so the result goes on the outside. And then we have square root, and we end up with 100y squared. So 10 times 10 is 100, and y times y is y squared. So now we have multiplied by the conjugate, and if we have done this correctly, then the denominator should simplify to have no radicals left in the bottom. So let's simplify. I'm going to start at the bottom first. For square root of 4x squared, 4 is 2 times 2, so we have a group of 2, so we know we can bring one out. X squared, that is an entire group of 2, so we can bring one x out. So we get 2x. Nothing left underneath the radical, which is exactly what we want for that denominator. Now we can simplify these two in the middle, but we don't need to because what follows the number matches, and we have same number but opposite signs in front. So we're going to go ahead and just cancel these. They're exactly the same values but opposite signs. Lastly, we have 100, which we know is 10 times 10, so we have a group of 2, so we're going to bring that out, multiply it times what's already out, and then we're going to bring out a y to the front as well. So we end up with minus 40, so 4 times 10, and then we end up with the y. All right, we're going to simplify across the top as well. We have 3 on the outside. On the inside, we have 10, which is 2 times 5, so no 2 of a kind there. But we do have 2 x's, so we will bring 1 out from there. So it leaves us with 3x on the outside and square root of 10 on the inside. 50, we know that that is 2 times 5 times 5. So we have a group of 5s. I'm going to bring that out. It gets multiplied times what's already out. So that gives us 30. And on the inside, we have left over a 2 and an x and a y. This next one's pretty easy because 16 we know is 4 times 4. So we have a group of 4, 2 4s, we can bring one of them out. So it leaves us with negative 4. The x and the y don't have any partners, so no groups of 2, so they have to stay inside. 80 is probably the most interesting of all of these. So if I break down 80, that's 2 times 40. And 40 is 8 times 5. So we end up with 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, so 4 of those, and then 1 5. So we're going to bring out groups of 2. So there's one group of 2, and here's another group of 2. And then we have a y squared, which is another group of 2. So we're going to bring out a 2 and a 2 and a y. We're going to multiply all those together on the outside. So we end up with 8y. And then on the inside, we're left over with a 5. Now we notice here that when we look at the top, after we simplify, that nothing can be combined. When I look past the number for each one of these, everything is completely different. And the two middle ones look similar, the most similar, but one has a 2 and one does not have a 2, so there's no like terms. So that implies that we cannot combine anything in the top. So this actually turns out to be our final answer.